Hello everybody, Rogue Fox here, and welcome back to another Minecraft Bedrock Edition Redstone video. 2019 was an amazing year for my channel. As I'm recording this, I am currently at 15.1 thousand subscribers, but in the year of 2019, we actually grew by 11.9 thousand subscribers. So that is almost 12,000 subscribers in 1 year, and that is absolutely crazy. Also in 2019, I made a bunch of different redstone builds and contraptions and posted redstone tutorials throughout the year, and as you can see behind me, I now have quite the collection of redstone builds in my redstone testing world, and of course I do have builds in front of me that you can't even see. So what I thought I would do to begin the new year is, well, I wanted to show off your top 10 redstone builds of 2019. And when I say your top 10 redstone builds, what I mean is the top viewed videos of 2019. Coming in at number 10 is the Minecart loader and unloader. I mentioned this build a couple of weeks ago during my automatic honey farm tutorial and said it would be great to use to dispense all of your empty bottles amongst your dispensers, but when I originally created this, I had intended it to be for a furnace array like you see right here. So this build is very simple but very cool. We load up our hopper minecart below or on the back side, and then we send it along its way. Now the cool thing about this build is that it is going to distribute all of the ore that we placed in, and it's going to keep going back and forth until it is completely emptied, so we don't have to touch it after we send it on its way. So there we go, you just saw it right there. That is the minecart loader and unloader. Number 9 is the N for 1 trade shop. The N for 1 trade shop is an item store where you set a specific price. In this case, we would have to pay 3 redstone dust in order to get 1 comparator. So to demonstrate this, we can go ahead and place in our redstone dust. That will process through the system. We get a ding, and then when we open up the chest again, we have ourselves 1 comparator. So that is how this shop works. Now, since then, I have made a few modifications to this, which I haven't released yet. So be on the lookout for that, and also be on the lookout for the N for N trade shop, where you trade a certain amount of items to get a certain amount of items in return. Number 8 is the 2x2 hidden piston door. Now this is a build that I've had on my channel before, but in my previous version I got a lot of comments about how the redstone was sometimes not working, so what I did for this one was alter the redstone a little bit to make it more reliable. So let's go ahead and test it out. Our hidden input would be right here. If we press the button, that would open up our 2x2 piston door. We take it with us. Once we go through, we close it right behind us. And there we go. And of course, to get back out, all we would simply do is press this button once again. Our hidden piston door opens up. And then to close it up, we throw our button down once more. Close it, remove it, and then go on about our business. And there we go. That is the 2x2 hidden piston door. Number 7 is the Lectern Shop, and I'm going to take a little bit more time on this one because personally, this is probably my number 1 of my 2019 builds, only because there is so much going on. It's the biggest redstone project that I made so far as all of the different mechanics going on. So with this shop, what we can do is buy items in 1, 16, 32, 48, or 64. So at the very end, we're able to buy a whole stack of items. And we have this lamp up here to let us know if the item is in fact in stock or not. But we can simply come down our comparator line here to see what is actually filled. So you can see a lot of these don't have items, and then there are the rest of them there. So we do have the N selected. Now another cool feature that I was really proud of about this build is right now we can't get any items. So if we press it, you can see nothing is happening. So what I actually did was place in a locking system. So this doesn't actually work until you pay. Now, unfortunately, for whatever reason, the locking mechanism down here, or the locking circuit, has given people a lot of trouble. So if you see the comments in my Lectern Shop video, you can see a lot of people saying that this part isn't working, and I'm honestly not quite sure why. I think it's just Bedrock being Bedrock, but I can assure you this does work. We can go ahead and give it a test. As I mentioned, right now there's no payment. If we press it, nothing is going on. But once we place in our payment, You can see all the redstone switch over. It is now unlocked. And then we can go ahead and press our button once again. And then you can see the redstone is actually doing something. So if we look down the line here, you can see our items being dispensed. In this case, we have oak logs. That is giving us a whole stack and going down into our collection system below. So that will go all the way up to 64. And again, this is a build that is probably my number one. I am most proud of this. All the items have come through. And yeah, this was such an amazing thing to make. I'm super proud of this one. And then, of course, you can see here there are no more logs in the system. So the redstone lamp goes off, letting the customer know we no longer have any more inventory. Number 6 is the Auto Smooth Stone Furnace. This came out, I believe, when 1.9 was released. And that was the update where we got our smooth stone blocks, we got our andesite, granite, and diorite slabs, stairs, walls, and things like that. Now, this is not the final version, but I did come out with a cleaner one in the final tutorial. This was the only model that I found in this redstone world. But how this would work is we would place our fuel into this chest here. That would feed into both of our furnaces down below, but again, not in this model. That one feeds into the second one. And what we would do, as we know, once we place cobblestone into a furnace, stone will come out. But because we did get smooth stone after that, what would happen is the stone would go into a second furnace, and then we would end up with our smooth stone in this chest. And the cool thing about that is all we would have to do is stand at this level here, and everything would go on down below. So if we take a look, we should be getting a smooth stone block here very shortly. There we go. And that is how this build works. Number 5 is the hidden staircase. This is another build that I've done on my channel before, but with this version, I made a faster way to open and close the staircase. So just like the 2x2 hidden piston door, this would be wired up to some sort of hidden input, and once that was powered, that would reveal our hidden staircase right there. We would head on down the stairs, press the button down below, and that would close the staircase behind us. And again, that's how fast it is. I don't even have time to get back to the top to show it off. So again, opening, and then if we can see it, we have the closing. And that is number 5, the hidden staircase. Number 4 is the XP furnace or XP farm. This was a feature added in 1.11, and what this allowed us to do was place all of our items. So in this case, if we had stacks of iron ore, we can place it in the hopper or in our chest above. All of that would smelt and go down below, and what would happen is we would get XP for all of the items smelted rather than only the XP for the items that were within the furnace. So that was a very cool addition, and while that's smelting, although this build specifically is number 4, throughout the year I built quite a few different versions. I know Azumavoid had a challenge for making an XP furnace or storage, and from there I also made an array and some other things like that, so you can see all of those here. But specifically, this build was number 4, and then if we go ahead and just do this, we would get our XP for everything. And I am in creative, so you won't see the levels go up, but we would get all the XP for the items within the storage. And for those who want to see all the different XP farms and storages that I made, a playlist to it will be popping up in the top right corner, and of course there will be a link to it down in the description below. And as for all the other builds that you are seeing today, all of the links to those builds will be down in the description below. Getting down to our top 3, number 3 is the item sorter, and this item sorter was made to handle our items that stack in 64, 16, and also our non-stackable items. Now what we would do simply is place all of our items into the input. So we would have pumpkins that would filter into the pumpkin chest, and let's go ahead and do eggs next. It'd bypass those, it would fill up our eggs just like that, so all 16 of them would go there. And then of course the same would be true for the sugarcane, because that does stack in 64. And then of course we do have our non-stackable items, so we can throw in our diamond hoe and also our bucket of water. And if we just wait a second here, we see both of those come in, bypassing all of that. And then we would also have an extra chest at the end for all of the things that we don't have filters for. So to demonstrate this, let's place in our melons, and our ender pearls. So those are all going to bypass those filters here and make their way into the chest. So a very simple build, but also very, very useful. And that is number 3, the item sorter. Number 2 is the automatic chicken farm. Now, at the time of making this video, I believe this was the smallest version out there. I had looked around and I didn't see anything more compact than this. So I went ahead and proposed it to be the smallest automatic chicken farm out there. I'm not sure if that's still true or not, but you can see here this build is very, very compact. If we take the blocks away, it's a very compact build. We have our adult chickens up top. They'll lay their eggs. That will dispense the eggs here where we get our baby chickens. And you can see the baby chickens are sitting right below the lava, even though half of their head is in the lava. But as soon as those baby chickens grow into adult chickens, they'll burn up and all of their drops will go down below. So another very easy and compact build. And this is what I use as my food source on Truly Bedrock. And finally, it is time for your top redstone build of 2019. And if you can't hear it already, it is none other than the automatic cow farm. So this build was the highest viewed video of all my redstone builds in 2019. So let's go ahead and show you how this works. All we would do is simply press the button, and we get all of our breeding cows bouncing up and down. We would feed them with a bunch of wheat like so. They would make their baby cows, and then all of our baby cows would drop down into the chamber below. As you see right there, we can go ahead and shut this off. And then down below, we would wait for all of our baby cows to grow into adults, as you see here. Press the button, and then we would get ourselves some juicy steaks. So we have 9 and 2 there. In just a moment, there we go, poor cows. All their drops would go down below. There we go. So we now have 19 and 7. And then that would leave all the baby cows behind and ready to grow up and then also be turned into food. And there you have it, everyone. Your top 10 redstone builds of 2019. And again, when I say your top 10, what I did was I went to my YouTube analytics page and I looked at all of my redstone tutorials for 2019 and saw which ones had the most views. So according to YouTube, those are your top 10, but I'm kind of curious, what is your personal favorite or your top redstone build of 2019? Let me know down in the comments below. What is your favorite redstone build on my channel from 2019? I'm really curious to see that. And then what I think I'll do for next week is share with you my top 10 redstone builds. So my personal favorite top 10 redstone builds from last year. And I think that would be very fun. And as I mentioned before, all the builds that you saw today, all the builds that were showcased, a link to those tutorials will be down in the description below, so you can check those out. They'll all be down there. And with that being said, everyone, this is the end of today's redstone video. I really hope you guys enjoyed. This has been Rogue Fox, and I will see you later.